Well, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades, I've only just realized that I am going to need my whole 9 minutes for this.
If I'd known you were so interested in my private political views, I'd have put them near the top of the show.
Chris Hitchens, what are you writing in the March 12th issue, which is the next one after this one?
I'm going to ask ABC News if Henry Kissinger will continue to be their impartial consultant, having called for the press to be banned from the West Bank. There's a mistake at the heart of what you say, sir. I can say what I like about your religion, and you can say what you like about my humanism, and I will not attempt to prevent you from doing that. In fact, so far from that, I would defend anyone who tried to make you be silent. That is the foundation of what we call the Enlightenment. The American left, in starting the civil rights movement for black Americans, in combating an unjust war in Indochina, and in beginning the emancipation of women, the way we think about sex, changed the way everyone thinks and the way everyone lives far beyond the borders of the United States. For a lot of people, their first love is what they'll always remember. For me, it's always been the first hate. And I think that hatred, though it provides often rather junky energy, is a terrific way of getting you out of bed in the morning, keeping you going. It can be, if you don't let it get out of hand, it can be canalized into writing. And there are an awful lot of bubble reputations floating around that, you know, one wouldn't be doing one's job if one didn't itch to prick.
You know, I'm not trying to destroy the memory of President Reagan.
Well, I wish you were. I certainly am. He was a regular, habitual liar, and as for the economy, we're still living with his deficit. Insofar as this personality is the centerpiece of Titanic coverage, I would say it's a rather meager personality, a not very distinguished life, and a not very important human being. It's a simple matter of record that she was a fanatic and a fundamentalist and a fraud.
You start out by saying the passion is anti-Semitic in intention, and its director is anti-Semitic by nature.
Yes, he's a fascist and he's an ignorant peasant.
I'm often asked, how can you be friends with a character like Christopher Hitchens? And I defend this friendship in no uncertain terms. I say to these people, look, Mr. Buckley, we all have friends we're ashamed of. I'll give up Christopher Hitchens when you give up Henry Kissinger.
I never like to miss a chance to confront Henry Kissinger, and I don't get that many. Because when he knows I'm coming, or when he knows I'm going to be in the area, up till now he has cancelled. That's 4 times now this year. I think he's a war criminal.
Look at it burn! Look at it burn!
I think he's a liar. I think he's responsible for kidnapping, for murder.
And if there really was equality before the law internationally, would be wanted for gross offences against human rights. Just take any well-known phrase or saying which has the word heart in it. Replace it with the word dick. It cheers me up sometimes. For example, bury my dick at Wounded Knee. I left my dick in San Francisco. What do you think was going to happen if you let Iraq run any longer the way it was going? 12 years of sanctions plus Saddam Hussein, which made us morally complicit in running the country, as well as morally complicit in beggaring its people, and creating a lumpen underclass the country had never known before that was easy prey for the fundamentalists. In the wings are waiting the delightful twins, Uday and Qusay. Would they have succeeded together? I think it's more likely there would have been a Shakespearean outcome of them cutting each other's throats as well as trying to succeed. How adorable would that have been?
No, I'm not a supporter of the war. I'm a supporter of our side in it.
He says the United States is a satanic power.
But you know that a lot
He says he believes the Messiah is about to come back. Who's looking for a war here?
So does George Bush, by the way.
President Bush has said the audience, which will clap apparently anything, is frivolous.
I'm just saying.
It doesn't simulate the feeling of drowning. You are being drowned slowly.
Are you against the ticking bomb torture? Would you torture that person?
The more seductive the excuse, the more I'm opposed to it. The more tempting the alibi, the more I think it needs to be examined. I say that homosexuality is not just a form of sex, it's a form of love, and it deserves our respect for that reason. That when my children were young, I'd have been proud to have Stephen as their babysitter, and I'd told them they were lucky. And if anyone came to my door as a babysitter wearing holy orders, I'd call first a cab and then the police. I'm invited to be unpleasant at the expense of Ayn Rand. Well, that's easy. I don't think there's any need to have essays advocating selfishness among human beings. I don't know what your impression has been, but some things require no further reinforcement.
Chris, my son cried more at his first haircut than he did at his bris. Statistically, the only long-term effect that it seems to have on people is it increases their chances of winning a Nobel Prize.
I can't find the compulsory mutilation of the genitals of children a subject for humor in that way. That a person as humane as yourself can sit here and think of that as a fit subject for humor shows what I mean. Religion makes morally normal people say and do disgusting and wicked things, and you've just proved my point for me. Shame on you for saying what you just said. Shame on you for saying it about your own son, my God. I don't think it's going to take 10 minutes to disprove the existence of God. It is the desire that there be an unalterable, unchallengeable, tyrannical authority who can convict you of thought crime while you are asleep. A celestial North Korea.
Christopher, I'm not sure if you believe in heaven, but if you do you think Jerry Falwell is in it?
No, and I think it's a pity there isn't a hell for him to go to. 100,000 years, our species has been around. For the first 97, 98,000 of this, heaven watches with indifference. Oh, there they go again. That whole civilization's just died out. Well, what are you going to do? 3,000 years ago at the most, it's decided, no, we've got to intervene now. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. And the revelation must be personal, must appear. So we'll pick the most backward, the most barbaric, the most illiterate, the most superstitious, and the most savage people we can find in the most stony area of the world. We won't appear to the Chinese, who can already read. Just a second here. So you wouldn't believe how dry it is backstage.
Chris, I love you because, you know, for years, people have been coming out on talk shows with alcohol and hiding it. Not you.
Not I.
They, like, put it in a cup like this. Chris is proud. He's like, this is scotch, fuck you. Look.
Christopher Hitchens is an engaging, boozy, bare-knuckled writer who is now waging his biggest fight against stage 4 cancer. And as he likes to point out, there is no stage 5.
The spirited opinions about religion have not been dampened by illness.
To hell with you is the response to the ones who pray for me to go to hell. Thanks but no thanks is the reply to those who want me to convert and recognize a divinity or deity. And good luck to those who pray for me to recover.
I mean, if Sam and I were to form a corps of people to go around religious hospitals, which is what happens in reverse, and say to people who are lying in pain, say, did you say you were Catholic? Yes. Well, look, you may only have a few days left, but you don't have to live them as a serf, you know. Just recognize that was all bullshit, that the priests have been cheating you. And I guarantee you'll feel better. I don't think that would be very ethical. Okay, but I think it would be something of a breach of taste. But if it's in the name of if it's in the name of God, it has a social license. Well, fuck that, is what I say.
Well, the cause of my life recently, in a sense, the cause of my life as a writer from the beginning has been to oppose man-made delusions, the mind-forged manacles, as William Blake calls them, of superstition and religious totalitarianism. And I know well enough about that it's not a battle you can ever hope to exactly win. There are rounds of it that can be won, but it's something that's going to go on forever. It's innate in the human condition and personality to be having this argument. And I've hugely benefited from taking part in it. I've learned a lot from it. I'd love to be thought of as someone who's contributed something to it. But you could never say you've done enough, no. To have been relatively healthy till 62 is to have been dealt a pretty good hand by the cosmos, which doesn't know I'm here and won't notice when I'm gone. I ought never to say there's nothing would change my mind. So, shall I just say that no evidence has or argument has yet been presented that would change my mind? But I like surprises.